I finally finished IDW Sonic. First of all, if you haven't seen my Archie Sonic video, you should definitely watch that video as well, just because. Anyways, before I read it, I played Sonic Forces. Even though I already knew like the plot of the game, I just wanted to play it just to play it. And I heard like niggas shit on it, and I was like, it can't be that bad. When it comes to games, I want to play it myself most of the time before I judge it. And niggas was right. The game was disappointing. The only good parts for me were the modern Sonic parts. The rest I hated or was just boring. Before I talk about the story of IDW Sonic, all I have to say is, oh my god, nigga, the art is just amazing. I don't think there's not like one time where the art looked bad. The art is just consistently good. Like, you can have a lot of criticism for like what's going on in the story, but deadass, I don't see like no way for you to criticize the art. Like, just look at these panels. The art make the fight scenes look so amazing, especially like when Surge is involved or like Metal Sonic. It just looks great. I'm done talking about the art. Now I want to talk about like all the arcs. Then I'm going to talk about the characters. Okay, first, the Neo Metal Sonic arc was okay. It's definitely one of my least favorite arcs so far, but you know, it was used to like introduce you to all the characters, introduce you to the new villains and what like the future plot line is going to be. It was nice to see Neo Metal Sonic again, and also I wish, you know, they make him turn back into Neo Metal Sonic in like a future plot line. But yeah, you know, this arc was decent. There's really nothing crazy that's happened. The entire thing is basically an introduction arc. This arc also started the whole theme of Sonic trying to like help his villains turn to the good side. Like when he finds that Eggman lost his memories and became like an actual good ass nigga known as a Tinkerer, going around like helping niggas in the village and shit, he saw that there was a chance that Eggman could like be redeemed. But then new villains, Rough and Tumble, are hired by an also new villain, Dr. Starline, to kidnap Eggman to regain his memories. But yeah, this is all I have to say about this arc. Is, you know, it's decent. This arc was chill as fuck. Then the fucking next arc is fucking chaotic. The Metal Virus Saga is just insane. Like, it might be one of my favorite Sonic stories ever, and it might be my favorite like zombie story ever. Like, watching the Metal Virus just take over everything was just insane. Having Sonic be one of the first niggas to get infected was such a good decision because it made it have stakes in the story. He couldn't go around saving people because he will touch them and infect them. So he couldn't like save anybody for real. Also, he had to keep running or he'll get fully infected. And the stories that happened, like that set up this arc, was good as well. I don't know why I said stories when like the only thing that happened was the Tango and Whisper miniseries. That miniseries was good because it gave us Whisper's backstory and how like, and it introduced us to Mimic, who was like a very important part of Whisper's like entire character arc. Now let's go back to the Metal Virus Saga. And bro, it was just such a good arc. Eggman just dropping the virus on like entire cities. It just spreading through forests. And the virus is affecting like half of the main characters. Side note, but this character right here might be like my most hated character in the series so far. Even though they don't have no name and they only appeared in like one panel. This dumb fuck gets infected, and instead of like, you know, going to a remote place where you can't get no one infected, decides to go to the fucking Restoration HQ where almost all the fucking last survivors are at. This dumb monkey decides to go there while infected just so they don't have to get infected by themselves. This dumbass hold everybody. Like, they must have got like at least over 100 niggas infected, including fucking Vector and Vanilla. Like, that shit traumatized the fuck out of Cream. Like, this was such like a major setback into like finding a cure for the Metal Virus. At the end of the story, they should have gave that nigga a public execution. But yeah, the story kept escalating, which was just great, with that like Starline getting the fucking Deadly Six to help him, and the Deadly Six just taking over and basically becoming like the new main villains of the arc. And they were some good ass villains in this arc. It was nice seeing like Sonic and his friends with the Babylon Rogues and Eggman and Metal Sonic team up to like defeat the Deadly Six. And all the fights with Deadly Six was great, besides the one with the fat nigga. and Amy and Tails, that shit was short as fuck, and it was okay at best, but like nothing really happened for real. The Babylon Rogues versus Zeke and Cream versus Xena was definitely like the best fights, mainly because they're just good character moments. But yeah, this was just a good ass arc, and the only problem that I would have with it is just Shadow being a fucking dumbass. Like, this nigga was just trash in this arc. So yeah, the Metaverse arc was just so good, just everything about it. So now it's time to talk about the whole entire Starline arc. This arc is definitely tied with the Metaverse arc in terms of like being my favorite arc in the IDW series. Like, it definitely had like a slow start, but that's what I liked about it. Like, the Metaverse, that shit started off strong as fuck. The Starline shit, it was a good slow build up to the crazy shit. Now, I don't want to talk about everything that happens in this and like in the arcs, because I want to talk about like the characters after this. So I'm gonna be like very brief on these arcs. But I loved every single thing about this arc. Starline, Surge, and Kit are such great characters. The arc is mainly about introducing Surge and Kit to like the Sonic like story. And they're such like good additions to the story. Like, they're just so good. Like, this arc was just like great story and just great fighting. Last arc, like the Metal Virus shit, was like great, just straight up great story. Like, the fights were like cool, but wasn't like anything great. But this one was just a lot of good looking fights. Also, I forgot to talk about the fucking Deadly Six arc that happened after the Metal Virus shit. But I'm pretty sure that's considered a part of the whole Starline arc. And I'll just talk about it when I start talking about the Deadly Six characters and shit. The next arcs, the whole Eggperial shit was like decent. Nothing crazy for real. It was like an enjoyable story. Now, the Clean Sweep arc was also at least like an okay story. But we definitely have to talk about the whole Silver and the Diamond Cutters thing. To be honest, I think this shit was overblown. Because everyone in this entire situation was being fucking stupid. All of them. Silver, to me, was being the most fucking stupid because the nigga's plan was just to attack the nigga in front of everybody. Like, this nigga Silver attacked the nigga and told that nigga to confess. Like, nigga is literally a fucking shapeshifter. You gave that nigga an easy layup to make you look like the bad guy. Like, Silver was just being fucking stupid. I can't even be mad at that nigga getting kicked off the team. Now, Whisper is stupid because she didn't, like, relay anything to the team. Like, she could have pulled everybody to the side and say, hey, that might be Mimic, so keep an eye on that nigga. So that everybody can be, like, cautious and alerted about a duo. But no, she only tells Silver. But her acting irrationally, honestly, makes sense because, you know, Mimic, you know, gave her a shit ton of trauma. So obviously, she gonna like being irrational during situations that involve him. So, you know, it makes sense for her acting like this. Tango is honestly like probably like the least stupid person here because, like, you know, she could have like, you know, interrogated Duo as well. But honestly, if Whisper, who is the Mimic expert, doesn't think Duo is Mimic anymore, then Tango's not going to suspect Duo as Mimic anymore, since Whisper, her best friend, doesn't think Duo is Mimic anymore. And Lanolin is stupid because she fully believed in Duo, even though, honestly, not really knowing the nigga. And honestly, that's contributed to just rushed writing because we've just met this Duo nigga, and they immediately reveal that he's Mimic. I feel like if we didn't know he was Mimic during the scene, it would be just way more better. And I feel like we should have shown like Duo like saving them in like crazy moments, or like him trying like to sacrifice himself for the team. So Lanolin like sticking up for him makes sense. Honestly, her whole entire character is rushed because how the fuck is she the leader of the Diamond Cutters when she's like the least experienced person on the team? And her slamming Whisper to the ground, that was an understandable slam because Whisper grabbed the fuck out of her wrist. Because you don't just grab up on a nigga and expect not to get pushed off or retaliated in some way. Especially if we're in a heated conversation. So yeah, I can't even be mad at her for slamming Whisper. After I read this arc, I realized Lanolin honestly wasn't as bad as niggas was saying. Like, after she realized she was in the wrong, she apologized. The way niggas were talking about her, I expected she fucking punt kicked Cream. Now, if Cream was in Silver's place and that happened to her, I would have wanted Landon to get shot in the alley by a crackhead. But since it's not Cream, I can be logical about this situation and realize this was just mainly just rush writing. But honestly, that's like the only thing I wanted to talk about for this arc because honestly, I don't really care for this arc that much. It's okay, but it's kind of a downgrade from the last arc. Surge and Kid carried this arc for me. Now the current arc that's going on, I really enjoy it so far because like we're really like going around the world and shit. And Sage has finally been introduced into the story, and we got a new villain who is either Starline or Infinite, but more likely it's Starline since Sonic recognized his face, and since when the nigga disappeared, he created a dark star. And with the new villain being all injured and shit, it makes sense for it to be Starline, since Starline got fucking crushed last time we saw him. Also, Sage even suspects it's Starline. And honestly, that's all I have to talk about for this new arc. We have to see where it goes. I was very brief about talking about these arcs since I'm going to be like talking about a lot of it through the characters. Now let's talk about the characters. Sonic, great as usual. Now this Sonic and Ian Flynn Archie Sonic, honestly, kind of tied with IDW Sonic, kind of like higher, mainly because IDW Sonic doesn't have like the shit stories that Archie Sonic have. But yeah, I just really love this version of Sonic. But yeah, I just really fuck with this Sonic, you know? He has some funny moments, got some cool moments as well. I see that some niggas say that this Sonic is a little too preachy, which is, you know, understandable for not liking that about him. The only time I found it annoying is when he did it to Metal Sonic, but that wasn't really a big problem for real. The only niggas that he preached to besides Metal Sonic was like Eggman and Surge, and like, you know, those two were cool. I didn't really think there was a problem for real, especially Surge was being like a fucking terrorist and shit. But yeah, I enjoy IDW Sonic's character. You know, he's fun. I like that. Okay, now let's talk about Tails. And Tails is just fantastic in this comic. He's probably like one of the most useful characters in this story because like there's a problem, Tails probably has an invention to fix it or a plan to stop it. Like this nigga is just super smart. Like nigga could have cured the metal virus early if he didn't get hold. He helped Eggman with his plan. But not only is he smart, they can fight too. And that's something that's all I need from Tails, him to be super smart. But when shit get tough, Nick can fight too. Honestly, anything that's the opposite of Sonic Force's Tails. Also, I really like where they're going with this Kit and Tails rivalry because Tails needs a rival and Kit is perfect. Okay, the next character is Knuckles, who's barely in the story for real, but the stuff that he is in is good. I wish we had more adventures with Knuckles in the story, but nigga has to protect Angel Island in the Master Emerald. I wish we had it like where he can protect the Master Emerald, but still go in adventures, but I don't know how that would work. I don't fucking know. Amy is also a great character. She has great character moments, like her being a leader during the whole Metal Virus arc, and during the whole forest fire situation, she was out there helping people and inspired Jewel to be a confident leader. And of course, she's still boxing niggas up. The only problem I have with her character is that she needs to be more prominent in arcs. Okay, next, Tangle and Whisper are such great additions to the story. Tangle is such a fun character, and I feel like they need to have her interact with other characters more instead of just Whisper and Jewel. Like I needed her to interact with Rouge more because that was fun. How about Shadow, Knuckles, the Chaotix? Since we got a glimpse of that in the Chaotix case files. And Whisper is just a great written character. She has a cool power set because like the last time, like I remember a nigga using the Wisp as like their own special power set was Eclipse. And her entire story with Mimic was just amazing. But I kind of wish that she was the one to kill Mimic. But she was definitely about to shoot that nigga before he took himself out. And I do hope that nigga Mimic is dead because deadass, we don't need to drag the whole Whisper and Mimic shit out. But yeah, Tangle and Whisper, great characters. I hope they're in future games. Silver, great character. He was like a very important part of like stopping the metal virus. And he has like a lot of great character moments throughout the story. Shadow is the only character in the IDW that I don't like for real. They just need to write that nigga better. And the rest of the characters, like the good guy characters, are good too. Like Belle, I fuck with her. But yeah, I almost forgot to talk about Cream. Cream is one of the best Sonic characters of all time, and if you disagree, then I hope you get jumped by like a group of slow niggas. Now, let's talk about the villains. First, Clutch is like an okay villain. He's not really threatening, but like he's okay. But I hope he's definitely not like a main villain ever again. Mimic is a great villain with a great backstory, but I hope that nigga is fucking dead. The Deadly Six were just so great in the arcs they were in. Mainly Zavok though, because like he appeared the most out of the Deadly Six. Like him and the rest of the Deadly Six being like the main villains of the Metal Virus arc. That shit was great. What made me really fuck with Zavok was the whole Bad Guys miniseries. Like Starlin thought that Zavok was this dumb strong nigga, but Zavok immediately knew that Starlight was gonna hold him in the future, but he played along with it and then fucked him over in the end. And his small little arc with the Deadly Six was also good. I just really like the Deadly Six's design and everything. But Zavok definitely carries the Deadly Six in terms of why I like them. Now, Dr. Starline is one of the best new characters in IDW Sonic. Like, he might be like the best dick riding character that I've ever seen in like anything. Like, that nigga be dick riding and glazing Eggman, but he also sees the flaws in Eggman. Like, his whole goal is to be better than Eggman so he can fix his flaws so he and Eggman can like rule the world together. Starling was just like a fun ass character. He was super fucking evil. Like, he caused most of like the problems that happen in the story so far. He had Eggman regain his memories. He helped Eggman create the Metal Virus. Then he brought back the Deadly Six. Then, after they got defeated, he freed Zavok, Mimic, and Rough and Tumble out of prison. Then he created Surge and Kit by kidnapping them and brainwashing them. And basically started torturing them so they can be like on par with Sonic and Tails. He did all this evil shit and that's why I fuck with him. He was an evil ass nigga. And that nigga's downfall was just immaculate. Starline thought he could outsmart Eggman, but Eggman hit the nigga with the "you played yourself," then proceeds to beat the fuck out of him. Then this nigga Eggman started talking shit to Starline, then slammed this nigga. Like, that nigga broke Starline's spirit. But yeah, Starline was just a good ass villain. I kinda hope he's dead. But if he is back and he is the new cloak nigga with the coffin, I hope they like change this nigga's motive and personality and shit. Finally, Eggman is just still a good ass villain. Archie, IDW, niggas just still great. There really isn't that much to say about Eggman. It's just that he's still great. And he has a fucking laser gun now. Is there anyone else that I'm missing? Metal Sonic, still cool as fuck. I like that they're kind of hinting at like Metal Sonic leaving Eggman. Anyway, yeah, that nigga just still just cool. And I see how like niggas be saying that they don't like how he lost to Surge, when I'm like, that nigga was fucking her up until she like jumped him with Kit. And that's what I like. Every time Metal Sonic appears in the comic, he applies pressure to anyone he's fighting. Shadow, Sonic, Surge. This nigga Metal Sonic has not having like any like embarrassing loss yet. So I can't wait to see like what future stories they have with him. Now, finally, we have to talk about Surge and Kit. These two niggas are the most interesting characters in the comics so far. Surge's powers are just cool as fuck. Every time she's in a fight, it just looks amazing because of the art. And I just love her personality that goes along with it. I like that she's strong, but not like overpowered. Because if she was this OP character, I feel like she wouldn't be that interesting. But because like she's still like an inexperienced fighter. So and they show that with her, like she can't fight Metal Sonic in a 1v1. She can't overuse her powers because like it drains her. And that just makes her character better for not being this OP ass new character. I like that she's like an anti-hero, leaning more towards like the hero side, with her like wanting to help people and like she likes the people praising her. So I can't wait to see like what they do with her in the future. Now Kit, at first I didn't really like care for Kit because he was more like a Surge dick rider, but now I really fuck with him. I like his dynamic with Tails, and like this nigga really wants to murder the fuck out of Tails. And he's like an anti-hero, leaning way more into like the villain side of it. Because this nigga wants to do anything for Surge because she wants to be a hero. This nigga is staging these terroristic ass fucking plots just for her to like fix them without her knowing. Like this nigga will probably put a nuke in a children's hospital just for Surge to look more like a hero. I really like where they're going with him and Surge, and I can't wait to see like how Surge gonna feel about him staging these events. Like I'm thinking they might have Kit be like a full-on villain. But yeah, Kit and Surge, fantastic characters. I can't wait to see what else they have in store in the future. Honestly, that's all I have to say about IDW Sonic. I could talk about the Chaotix, because, you know, they're great characters as well, but I don't really feel like doing it. IDW Sonic, I definitely enjoy it way more than Archie Sonic, but there's definitely some things that Archie does better than IW, and same vice versa. I guess I'm just gonna wait for the next Sonic game or the next like big chapter or arc in the IDW series until I make another Sonic video. Next video I'm dropping probably will be like Digimon or Gintama. I don't know. Honestly, that's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, and hold on. I just realized the monkey that was infected in the metal virus, he comes back, and I didn't realize that until like last second while I was editing this video. Niggas trying to make up for what he did, but I don't care. The niggas need to get filled with heroin and hanged. And that's it. So